and welcome to Rockin the Planet, the show that celebrates everything that's great about New Zealand entertainment. This week's show is an absolute treat for me as well as you. I get to welcome a very special dear friend that has a musical career that spans over 60 years, and we all know and love him as a peddler, Phillips. Give me that hand.
God
it's
bless
good
you,
to
sir.
see you.
And
God bless
you,
me.
Shane.
Roy, it's great to see you. I haven't seen you for several years. An honour to have you on the show, Rockin Planet. Now, we're going to go right through your whole history. Don't turn off. Now, we're going right back to your career started really musically in Dorset. Your father was a huge music fan, is that right?
That's right. Yes,
And he had a huge collection of fantastic records.
Yeah, not a huge collection. It was a very classy selection he had, and of course we had to play these things on a wind-up.
Same as me.
Yeah, with a big horn on there.
That's right.
Master's voice, and it's the same. My God, we could have been born in the same town at the same time.
We were probably blowing each other.
And Dad had collections of records like Woody Herman things.
Yeah.
You know, Woody Herman still wasn't heard of in England in those days, the war days. And he used to instill upon me, even people like Mario Lanza, you know, making records then, Count Basie Band. Yeah. Dad used to play it, and he says, you know, if ever you're going to do something with music, he says, for goodness sake, listen to the best, and then decide. But he says, if you listen to the worst first of all, and then make your mind up, then don't.
That's the level you're going to attain.
Well, I hope so. And of course, that was the influence, the big influence of listening to these people that were way out on a limb.
Yeah. And did it ever take you long to the concerts or anything like that? The Count Basies and the people like that?
I think the next big concert he took me to was Hugo Mantovani.
Mantovani.
The orchestra, to which he was a great fan, who also was a local man where I come from.
So he came from...
He had a horse stud in Branksome, which is in between Parkstone and Bournemouth.
I was going to say, we're in Dorset here.
Yeah, we're in Dorset. And Hugo Mantovani used to have this horse stud. And of course, years later, I got an apprenticeship as a photographic engraver at a place called the Bournemouth Times. And it was right behind Hugo Mantovani's place. Yeah. And I used to go and have to deliver the print-ups that we used to do for him.
Okay.
And he was so kind to me as well. And,
encouraged you in your musicianship.
That's right, yeah.
But you started out, I mean, you had piano lessons, I believe.
Yes, I did.
You had a local piano teacher. Your mother sent you along.
Remind me.
Because your mother was a pianist.
No, she wasn't. No,
sorry.
My mother was a lady that used to be the last person to end a verse in church.
Right.
My mum was this magical person that when everybody else had finished, she hadn't finished, and she let everybody know.
She did the big note.
And the last line went on and on
so this is where you learnt to do the big finish.
Well, but I get a music teacher. Yes, I did. Dad bought me a piano because I was playing.
A little upright sort of thing.
Little upright thing. Yeah. And it was a very good one, actually, but I think he bought for £500 or something. But this music teacher was a lady called Ada Sharp.
Ada Sharp.
Ada Sharp. Now,
Sounds a terrible name.
It's a terrible. A Sharp. Why can't they say that it's B flat instead of A? You know. But she used to punish me as a child through not having very dexterous hands.
Dexterity and your hands and the fingers.
Well, I couldn't do it. I was a kid, you see, and I'd been doing
So you were already on guitar by then?
Yeah, I was.
How old are we here? 8 years old, 9 years old?
Yeah, round about that time.
And you love the guitar?
Yeah, I love the guitar, yeah.
All us kids in England love the guitar.
This woman used to wrap my hands, my knuckles.
Yeah.
So my piano lessons really went from 0 to 0, because I said to my mother, I'm never ever going to go back. That woman is a wicked, wicked woman. She could be a witch.
Yeah.
You know.
Sounds like
and so I never ever went back to dear Ada Sharp again.
Because Ada Sharp was slapping you on, hitting with the ruler and sort of stuff. She was caning you as you were playing.
Dreadful woman, a
you
wooden ruler.
So she wasn't educating you, she was destroying you.
That's right.
Yeah.
But she didn't hit me with the flat part of the ruler. She turned the ruler on its edge, you see, which made it worse. Yeah. Very unfriendly.
And I believe she got killed by a bus.
She got run over by a number 5 bus that was on its way from
You didn't know any bus drivers at the time?
No. But no, God bless this woman. I mean, she was a wonderful, I'm sure she was a wonderful teacher, but she put the fear of God Almighty in me.
Yeah, and there's no way to learn a piano anyway.
Right.
So you picked up the guitar and you continue with your guitar lessons. Now, you did really well with the guitar in the early days, because I'm a fan, because you were a damn hot guitar player.
Well, I used to play in bands with Andy Summers from the Police.
Yeah.
We had skiffle bands, you see.
Yeah, exactly.
Days. And we'd sit there and get them and pick up 2 and 6pence for a whole evening.
But 1962, 63, there was the whole Cliff Richard and the Shadows thing going, and that was really the lineup. Yeah. And you had a band. I know you backed a few, the Daywoods or Daywoods.
The Dowland brothers. They were two brothers. They used to copy the Everly Brothers.
Yeah.
But they also used to write songs as well. So there was that
early part of
the
that thing. Got you into playing gigs and things.
That's right. Yeah.
But then you moved on. You got your own band. You called the Saints.
Yep.
Now the Saints is the record that we heard as you came into the show.
Oh yes. Yep.
Who I love, because I bought that record.
Good Lord,
way back in 1962, 63, or whatever it was. And you're playing lead guitar on that, right?
Yeah.
And that's an amazing record. And Joe Meek was the guy that produced it, I believe.
That's right.
Now, this is history that, wow, I just can't get enough of.
Well, I was playing what they call a Gretsch Country Gentleman guitar.
Yeah.
And I was so proud of this thing because I heard that Chet Atkins played it, and he was an idol of mine in those early days. But Joe Meek insisted that we did this copy because the Safaris had done it in America, and had a big hit at home. And I wondered why we had to do it. But it was up to Joe Meek. Yeah. So we played a little jazzy version of it, you know. It was more jazzed up than the.
It was right up on what theirs was.
And you see, up to now, I wonder who had bought that record, and you said it was you.
I bought that record.
Yeah. So it was you.
It was me. And I played it to everyone. I said, you've got to hear this version. It was so much better. And there was a few Les Paul licks in there.
There was too. You picked that up as well. That's good.
Well, I thought maybe you were a fan of Les Paul as well.
I was, yeah.
That sort of...
And
the Chet Atkins thing really stood out when I heard a couple of the instrumentals that you recorded after that even. As a guitarist, there were all these wonderful little licks that I thought, wow, that's really country gentleman.
I subsequently met Chet.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I was like talking to God.
When you went to the States?
I saw him, you know, and he said, "Oh, who are you?" You know, I was once referred to by Chet Atkins as who?
I'll take it.
Yes, but I did meet my idol, and another guy called Merrill Travis.
Merrill Travis,
who was wonderful.
Yeah,
you know, and that was the kind of music that I really
so you were
loved.
Slightly country, really, for early, and rock and roll, and the whole thing was country anyway.
Yeah.
So. And the country gentleman guitar was the guitar.
Yeah.
George Harrison had one.
Did he?
There you go. Yeah.
Did George? Oh,
he was playing one. Now you had Joe Meek. He had a lot of artists under his control at the time. The Telstar song had been a huge hit with the Tornadoes. You had John Layton and Hines and so on. We'll go on to that in a second. But he made a movie called Live It Up.
Yes.
And I don't know how they financed it or anything. Maybe he put the money up.
No, it was financed by a guy called Warren Montague.
Yeah.
In
black and white.
Yeah, in conjunction with some, I don't know who was it.
Hustler. Anyway, but you were in that movie, and you're playing guitar in the band, and the Saints were featured, as were many other of those groups.
Doing Shadows movements.
Yeah, it was all Shadow stuff, and everyone. Well, that was the thing. The Beatles hadn't quite arrived. And everyone was still doing steps and kicking up the guitars and doing their little movements. And we've got a video of you doing that. Do you mind if I play it?
No, go ahead.
Now, it's over the credits. This is the only video I can find.
Can I watch this one?
Yes, please watch it and enjoy it. Look how fit you were, man. Your leg was up here. I mean, but you were looking fantastic. And it's you as a guitar player, which is something a lot of people wouldn't know about. And it's really lovely to see.
Okay.
And it's damn good guitar playing. Here they are, the Saints. Don't take you away from me, and we don't want to do that, do we, Roy?
No, please.
That was the name of the song in that movie, and there was a guy fronting that. Who was that guy?
A guy called Andy Cavell. Yeah. And I think he made just about 2 singles. That was about it.
He managed to get into the movie and everything. Had you guys backing him, and
that's right.
He looked like a bit of a Cliff Richard clone from the early '60s, the young ones.
As I said, I think Andy. He was just one of them pretty boys in the early days.
I think we should revisit that video and just check out Roy's moves at the end there. You see that? We'll go back. Told you. Tab. Now Tab, who became the bass player of the Peddlers, the nucleus of the Peddlers, you and Tab. And I met you way back, not till '69. You'd really done all the hard work. Right. And the band, now how did that band form, the Peddlers?
It formed in Manchester. We advertised for a singer. All I wanted to do was plonk, innit?
Yeah.
But it didn't work out like that. We couldn't get a singer. We advertised for months and months.
Was it like from guitar to keyboard? Did you just suddenly decide, I'm not playing guitar anymore? I want to play keyboards.
I can still remember some keyboard stuff. And we went into a music shop in Manchester and just messing around, and the guy said, do you like that thing? It was a Lowry Heritage organ. He says, I can't sell it to save my life. He says, so why don't you just take it and try it, practice on it, and see if you don't like it, bung it back. So that's what we started with, and that's the beginning of the Peddlers.
Now, and of course, Trevor Morace came in. Is it Morace?
Yeah.
He was a Liverpudlian, and he was playing with, he'd replaced Ringo Starr and Rory Storm.
Yeah, Florence Flamingos was the band. And then he had this, he was going to join the Beatles because Bestie had left. Trevor turned him down and came with us, and I think he always regrets that to this day.
I don't know, because he was such a good drummer, wasn't he?
Oh, it was amazing. Trevor was a great showman. He was known throughout the planet.
Very funny man. The Peddlers shows were not only entertaining musically, you were a great show.
Trevor used to start off shows. We always started off with a number called Smile.
Yeah.
And before that, there was a drum solo, which should have been around about 5 minutes, where he started his drum solo. But Trevor used to walk across the stage playing the drapes, and then he'd play people's heads all throughout the theatre. And it was rather wonderful. And then come back on stage and we go,
that was just the opening.
Boom, And people just used to love it.
So you became a trio. Yeah. No need for a guitar anymore. And you become a keyboardist, basically. Yes. So that's how you decided.
Hendrix used to sit in occasionally. Jimi
Hendrix.
Jimmy used to sit in there with us.
Sit in with you guys playing guitar.
Yeah, because he understood the kind of thing that we were doing. Although he didn't play anything like it.
It was free.
He'd left the Isley Brothers.
There was a free thing going on.
That's right.
I mean, you guys. Yeah. I mean, when you went out there, you went out there.
Yeah.
And I wonder when they're going to come back. Tab, he sort of
you see,
became a seated bass player.
That was through working at the Pickwick Club, because there was no room to work. You couldn't put the bass out like that. And Billy Wyman come in one night and he says, look, put the bass like I do. Up there. And that started.
It was quite a cool thing. Yeah. And Tab he was playing with you in that movie. He was right there, was with the Saints and everything. Yeah. So you had a combination there that stayed together for many years.
Many years. Yes.
How did New Zealand happen? Because I met you in 1969 and it was Peddler Mania. You were as big as the Beatles at that stage.
Well, we didn't
just
know
filled
until
anywhere you came
here.
Here. It was just unbelievable.
We'd finished a stint in America, in Vegas. Yeah. And we were working Flamingo with Errol Garner and Fats Domino.
Sinatra was there.
Sinatra, it'd been many years, not many years before that, but just before that, in the Pickwick Club, which you want to go into that.
I do.
But we had a call from Phil Warren over here.
Yeah.
And Phil says, you've got a number one. Well, we had no idea. And he gave us a 6-week tour, and we played every small place you could possibly think of, and we loved it. Because it was just like being home again.
I think he showed you even at the Monaco.
I don't remember the names of these
I remember the Mojos.
Yeah.
Because I went to every show, because Phil was my manager. So
yeah. Oh, okay.
And that's where I met you. I can remember a merry night in Grafton Oaks, the old hotel up there.
Yes, that's right.
We were sitting in your hotel room getting...
Absolutely.
I joined the fray.
Yeah, we still haven't recovered.
And we had great times, and you guys were superstars. I mean, I was in awe of Roy Phillips.
Because it had already been in Italy and in France. It was number one over there.
And the number one we're talking about is Girly.
Yeah, a girl called Patti Bravo had just done it in Italy.
Yeah.
And we were going to go over there to do television shows with Patti as well. But her version went to number one and knocked our version off. Well, that was number one because she did it in Italian.
Oh, well, who wrote Girly?
I did.
That's what I was going to say. So she had a number one hit with your song.
Yes, she did.
Like,
Johnny Halliday too in France.
Halliday, he was a big star in France.
That's right, Johnny did it. And a guy called, I can't think of his name, in Sweden did it as well. It was
one of the
covered
Sputniks.
by a lot. One of the Sputniks. Yes, I can't remember his name, but
I've got a clip of you. There's a DVD out called An Evening with Roy Phillips. We got you playing Girly, and it's a song you wrote. It was pretty much a number one around the world in sense. The fact that so many people recorded it. You guys were just superstars here in New Zealand, and this is the song that made you superstars.
You're the beauty of a poem by Walter de la Mare. You're the hope behind a promise, child. Like a precious stone, you're rare. You're the little touch of sadness, but you're overwhelming joy. You're that never-ending mystery in the mind of every boy. You're the sunlight, you're the shadows. You're an excellent time of year. You're that wonder of God's creation. I'd love the world to share, and I love you, girlie. I love you, girlie.
Girly, Roy Phillips, beautiful solo version of that Peddlers number one hit. Now, Roy, Las Vegas must have been a very big experience for you.
Well, sitting down to Pickwick one night, a guy came up and sat down beside me.
The Pickwick being the English club in London,
yeah. Sorry, I should have.
No, but that's all right.
And I heard this, move your ass. And it was Francis Sinatra. And because we had so many incredible people down that club. And he said to me, what are we going to play? And I says, what do you want to play? Absolutely terrified, you see. I've got another god sitting next. I know. It's just frightening.
Yeah.
And he took us to America, really. We were out of the frying pan and straight into a fire.
Yeah.
And believe you me, it was frightening. We were on doing a lounge act with Errol Garner, Fats Domino, Klebanoff Strings, B.B. King. These are people that are only dreams to us,
Yeah.
But anyway, it was the foundation, and we were prepped up for it. And we had a dinner once because Pearl Bailey was in the main
Pearl
room.
Bailey, wonderful.
And
singer,
Louis Belson,
blues.
her husband. And she knew us from London, from Ronnie Scott's
Yeah.
club. And she said, I don't want you eating in these hotels. The food is rubbish, honey. Come and have some real food. So we used to go and dine at Pearlie May's room every single night.
That was her room. So.
Well, yes, she had a suite there. Oh, we weren't. We were down.
No, I'm sure you were down on the
down
bunking up
underneath the swimming pool. And her dinner at her place was always soul food. Soul food. Pig's feet, pig trotters, black-eyed peas, rice, and my God, it was there. But the guy that always was there was Dizzy Gillespie, and Dizzy. It was we'd known him from Ronnie Scott's as well, and he brought his horn in and put it by the table, you see, and old Dizzy's sitting there and he's looking around, and he says, "Oh my God, you from London? Oh my God, I want to escape that goddamn place." And so. Anyway, Pearlie May says, "Never mind that, play Grace for God's sake." And he took his horn out at the table and played Grace. And then he put it back in the case and went woman to the food.
And then everyone could...
And it was absolutely wonderful. Yeah. Those type of things.
The Pearl Bailey, I mean, she'd be amazing.
Oh, Pearlie May was a sweetheart.
Pearlie May.
Yeah. The big stars that we had the privilege of working with, people like Lena Horne, were the most ordinary, lovely, dear folk.
Lena Horne was amazing.
Oh, she, apart from being a stunning-looking person.
Beautiful woman,
that mulatto, oh boy, oh boy.
So but Frank Sinatra brought you into this whole soup of music, you know.
Go do it.
Yeah.
Go do it.
And he just, what a great...
It was wonderful. It was wonderful.
A lovely thing for him to do, just to go, just get in there.
Well, that's the kind of people they are and they were.
And have you kept a lot of friendships up with those people overseas?
Yeah.
Coming all the way over to New Zealand.
The trouble is, Shane, they're dead. They're dying now.
Well, they were, aren't we all?
It's so sad, you know. Just the other week, another friend of mine, a golfing partner, Bruce Forsyth.
Oh, you know.
Is gone. And
I love Brucey.
Yeah. But you know one thing about him? He could never putt. He was the worst putter on earth. But some of those acts that were in Vegas at the time, the Righteous Brothers were there, you know, and Billy, we became friends with Billy,
Bill Medley,
of course, with them. And Billy and I shared the same style.
The club. We could do a good version of that tonight.
Yeah, good.
We got the low part right. But it didn't last. You had to go back to London, or you went back, you just decided
we had to go back and get on with normal work.
Yeah, normal work.
Which was to be employed.
You're out working really hard now. You're on a tour of New Zealand, or North Island anyway at the moment.
Yes.
You're living in Christchurch now.
Yeah.
The reason you live in New Zealand is because you fell in love with the place.
In 1969, the first one, when Philip brought us over here to do those things, there was an interval where before we started.
Yeah.
I think it was 2 weeks, and we stayed at the Waitangi Hotel for all that time. Yeah. Fell in love with the country. Yeah.
I really think I've enjoyed myself talking to you this evening.
You think you have?
You think you have. But I'm going to listen to one more, and we've got to show the Peddlers, and it's called Tell the World I Want to Get Off.
And we did some effect things with Hammond, with Wow Wow pedals.
Well, that's another thing I should ask you very quickly before we get to, because you'll take more interest in this.
That came about through an engineer called Mike Phillips, who now works for CBC in Canada. And he did John Lord's Deep Purple and mine. But I got it in before John. Nobody could guess what it was. We did just an ordinary wow.
So here they are, the Peddlers at their best. But tell the world
we're not in.
Thank you.
Tell the world we're not in. Close the door on the world and its troubles. We don't need nobody else. When there's you and me, we've got all that we need. I don't want to hear the shallow words the world is saying. I don't want to play the complicated games they're playing. So I stay to join in. When the people come knocking, tell the world we're not in. Tell the world we're not in. Why be part of life's sad jigsaw puzzle? As long as there's the two of us, we don't need no one to make the pieces fit. I don't want to hear the shallow words the world is saying. I don't want to play the complicated games they're playing. So I stay to join in. When Les Dawson comes knocking, tell the world we're not in.
Tell the world I'm not in. The Peddlers, weren't they fantastic? Beautiful. I love that shot. Wow. That was recorded in England with the wow wow.
Oh, the wow wow.
Now, the rest of the year, your tour, you've just finished.
We've had a wonderful time,
reception's
Shane.
been
Yeah.
like huge. And there's a demand for you to come back and do more, right?
Yes, we're so happy about that. But we found that this has worked out very, very well. We want to play everywhere.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter where you go. I'm sure someone goes, you're Roy Phillips. I bet they everywhere you go.
Well, I was accused once of impersonating him.
Is that right?
Yes, and some guy said to me, you know, you should be ashamed of yourself. He says, you've been copying him. He says, he happens to be a personal friend of mine. This guy said, no, and I'm listening, what? And
I love that.
He says, I was only with him a couple of weeks ago.
Well, I've had the same thing.
Have you?
You become a tribute to yourself.
Well, there you go.
I'm doing a tribute to Shane tonight. You're doing the tribute to Roy Phillips.
Oh, listen,
Yes,
by the way, congratulations, mate, on your honour.
Well, look,
We're
I
all
really appreciate
thrilled to
that.
bits for you.
And Roy, the plans for the rest of the year, this tour you're going on, you're going to be out there playing all over the
place.
country. It's being planned right now. Are you doing the South Island as well?
I don't know. I
It's all
think
within
we
the
want
planning
to
stage.
concentrate on the North Island.
Yeah. I've got to say before we leave you, you're looking fantastic, mate.
Ah, God bless you.
You're looking
Master.
damn
God
good, and
bless
it's
you.
been such
I
a
came here
damn
feeling
pleasure, mate.
dreadful, but yes, I did.
What for? Oh, I've got to see that look in Shane again.
God bless you.
Don't stop rocking. Mr. Roy Phillips.
Thank you.